Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne Kimball, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. In today's video, I'm going to discuss the 5 ways of VA service connection. So when you file a claim for those conditions, they have to fall under one of the 5 ways of service connection. If not, more than likely, your claim will be denied. So let's get to it. Okay, everyone, the 5 ways of service connection. This is something that I talk about in my book, so make sure you go to my website, www.kmd89.com, and pick your copy up. Now, when I speak with veterans and they start telling me their story, I ask them, hey, that condition you're claiming, where does it fall under the 5 ways of service connection? What are you talking about? So I already know that they're not educated on that piece, all right? So today I'm gonna run through all 5 and give you some examples. Okay, the first way of VA service connection, pre-service aggravation. What that means is you had a condition, a documented condition before you entered your military service and your military service aggravated. Now, one of my personal ones, flat feet, pes planus. I was in the Missouri Army National Guard before I went on active duty. So when I went to MEPS on that entrance exam, it showed mild pes planus. When I went on active duty, I went to the same MEPS station, and on that entrance exam, it showed mild pes planus, flat feet. During my active duty time, I went to sick call and complained about bilateral foot pain. And when I got out of service, I was still having severe problems with my feet. I filed a claim, first rating decision, we don't see it in your medical records. And I'm like, what? So I submit a FOIA request to get a copy of my medical records. When I open it up, those documents, those entrance exams that I'm talking about, I saw them. The rater never bothered to even look at them. I didn't even get a CMP exam. But that's an example of pre-service aggravation. Now in the book, I'll go in a little bit more detail, give a little bit more criteria and some requirements for each one. All right? Now, the second one, direct service connection. As a former rater, when I adjudicated claims, the majority of claims that came through, veterans were claiming that condition as direct service connection. Now, with direct service connection, you have to have 3 elements: a current diagnosis, a link, and a nexus. I'm going to explain. So when I got that claim, the veteran cannot diagnose themselves if they're not a medical or mental health professional. Okay? So just their lay statement or their symptoms was good enough for me to look through the medical records from active duty. Is it documented somewhere? If it is, they meet those first 2 criteria. Now they need a nexus. I don't provide nexus as a rater, or any raters don't. They have to send the veteran out for a compensation and pension exam to get a DBQ completed and a medical opinion and rationale, which is inside the nexus letter. So if that comes back positive, then it's just a matter of, do you grant 0, 10, 20, 30, or whatever, and figuring out the effective date. Okay? That's direct service connection. The third one, secondary service connection. And the requirement, one of the main criteria is the condition that you're saying that has caused this new condition, you have to be already service connected for it. So for example, if you're service connected for a right knee condition and it's really bad, you had a knee replacement and you're shifting your body weight onto the left knee, okay, and it started hurting, then you can claim left knee secondary to the right knee. Now, you're gonna need a nexus. So we would have to send the veteran out for a CMP exam for the medical doctor to give us a Nexus. Now, you could also have a private doctor do a DBQ, but they have to do a Nexus letter as well. I have a video on my channel, and also in my book, I give a template and examples of what goes into a Nexus letter, okay? Now, moving right along. Number 4, increase. 2 requirements for increase. You already have to be service connected. And what you're saying, your condition has worsened. So the second criteria is you have to meet the next highest percentage in that criteria. So let's just say you're 20% for the back on the diagnostic code 5237. You have to know what requirements need to be met for the 40%. The only requirement is your forward flexion of the thoracolumbar spine has to be less than 30 degrees. Not, I got a bulging disc, not, I had an MRI showing a bulging disc, oh, I can't get out of the bed, oh, my pain level is a 15. That is not the requirement for the back, especially at 40%. Now, what the requirement is how far you can bend forward. Your range of motion, the degrees, that's it. So if you're going in for an increase, know what the increase is. And guess where you can find it? In the rating decision. Because raters have to tell you why they're granting you that percentage and why the next percentage is not warranted unless the evidence shows that's the criteria. A lot of veterans do not bother to read that rating decision. In my book, I give you an example of the first page of a rating decision. Okay? So you can get the book, you can see what it looks like, and go to the rating decision. Oh, this is a rating decision. Go to the narrative. Oh, they granted me 10% for this. Oh, they say the next higher percentage is not warranted unless evidence shows that's the requirement. A lot of veterans will jump and put in that increase, and then they'll say, Dwayne, do you think I'll get it? Well, what's the criteria for the next higher percentage? I don't know. Why even put the increase in the first place? That makes sense, right? Okay, moving right along. The last one, presumptive. And for presumptive, there are several. You have 1 year, 3 year, 7 year, Agent Orange. That falls also the PACT Act, the Agent Orange falls under. Gulf War also falls under the new PACT Act, and Camp Lejeune contaminated water. Now, majority of presumptives is going to have to be during Pacific time. Like you're talking about Vietnam, you go look up that regulation, has to be during the Pacific time frame. Same thing with Camp Lejeune. Gulf War, same thing, it's not an end date, okay, because we still got troops in theater over there, right? Not in Afghanistan, but Iraq and other places, Saudi, all right? And then the 1 year, 3 year, 7 year. Now, all of these have certain conditions. Agent Orange has a list of conditions. It's under 38 CFR 3.309 subpart E. 1 year presumptive, 38 CFR 3.309 subpart A. Camp Lejeune, PACT Act, Gulf War, they have the 38 CFRs as well. And you can find majority of this information in the M21 reference manual too, okay? So think about this, and I talk about it in my book. I give an example. On the right side, these are all the conditions you're claiming. On the left side, these are all the things, all the 5 ways of service connection. You draw a line from your claim condition to one of those 5 ways of service connection. If it doesn't fall under one of the 5 ways, more than likely, your claim is going to get denied, okay? So that's how I was trained to understand the 5 ways of VA service connection. And guess what? That first 2 weeks of my rater training, they were pounding that. They were pounding it. And trust me, you learned real quick. A lot of veterans, again, They won't even bother to get educated. They'll have a VSO, they'll have a lawyer that won't even explain it to them. And then they'll come to me and I'm like, well, did you ask your VSO? No, they didn't tell me anything about the 5 ways of service connection. Well, did you ask your lawyer? No, they didn't tell me anything about the 5 ways of service connection. Our clients, they know about the 5 ways of service connection. They know each claim that they're claiming, where does it fall under the 5 ways of service connection? They know this, okay? I talk about it in my book. And then I even have some additional older videos. And actually one of my first videos, that was one of the first videos I did. The 5 ways of service connection. I do not understand how you can file a claim and not know those 5. I know because guess what? I did it. But as soon as I found out about those 5 ways of service connection, the end of that first week of my VA rater training, I knew half the things that I claimed I was not going to get service connected for. So that's what my videos are doing. I'm trying to educate you so you don't make the mistakes that I made in what do you do based off my former VA rater training and the time I spent adjudicating claims to include my own claim. All right. So with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and don't forget to share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.